AITA for calling the police. At my own father's funeral? Half my family refuses to speak to me. The other half says I did the right thing. Here's what happened. When my dad passed away, he only had one request. Don't let this family fight over money. Ironically, that's exactly what happened. My older sister volunteered to organize everything: the funeral, the flowers, the paperwork, even Dad's personal belongings. At the time, I thought she was just trying to help. I was wrong. The morning of the funeral, I stopped by Dad's house to grab an old family photo album. The moment I walked in, something felt off. His watch collection was gone. His guitar was gone. His laptop had disappeared. Even the antique clock he'd inherited from my grandfather was missing. When I asked my sister where everything was, she casually said, "It's all in storage. Relax." I wanted to believe her, but something didn't feel right. Later that afternoon, during the funeral reception, my cousin was scrolling through Facebook Marketplace when he suddenly froze. He turned his phone toward me and asked, "Isn't this your dad's watch?" My heart sank. It was Dad's favorite vintage watch, the one he'd worn every single day for 20 years. It had been listed for sale just 2 hours earlier. The seller's profile picture was my sister. I quietly pulled her aside and asked why she was selling Dad's belongings before we'd even read his will. She didn't even look guilty. She shrugged and said, "Dad's dead. He's not using them anymore." I reminded her that Dad had promised certain items to different family members. She laughed and replied, "Well, they should have gotten here first." That was the moment I realized this wasn't grief. It was greed. I walked outside, took a deep breath, and called the police. Not because of one watch, but because she was selling property that legally didn't belong to her. About 10 minutes later, 2 officers arrived at the funeral home. The room went completely silent. My sister immediately started screaming that I was trying to embarrass her. My aunt burst into tears. My uncle yelled that I'd ruined Dad's funeral forever. The officers spoke with my sister privately and quickly discovered she'd already sold several expensive items online before the estate had even been settled. Some of the items were still sitting in the trunk of her car, waiting to be shipped. The sales were stopped immediately, and the entire estate was placed under legal supervision. A few months later, a judge ruled that she'd acted without any legal authority and ordered her to repay the estate for everything she'd sold. To this day, she tells everyone that I destroyed our family by bringing the police to our father's funeral. Personally, I think the person who started selling our dad's belongings before we even buried him did that all by herself. So, AITA.